Hey everyone, in this episode we head south and we stop at Great Sand Dunes National Park and Bandelier outside Santa Fe. We also take the kids to their first orthopedic checkup and we'll talk about what that's like as a traveling family.
Welcome to another episode of Cruising with the Clemons. My name's Mark.
I'm Jen.
And last
Those
week...
are the kids. There's another kid. There he is.
Last week, we were up in Copper, Colorado, and we are heading south towards New Mexico. And so this week, we are currently outside of Great Sand Dunes National Park.
In Alamosa.
In Alamosa, which is a town I never heard of, but it was actually cute. I don't think we took any footage of it. But we are on our way to the sand dunes right now. And then we got to get back, pack up, and head to Santa Fe.
The drive out to the sand dunes is beautiful and surrounded by these gorgeous snow-capped mountains and tons of boondocking spots. As we continued on our drive, we came across this wall of fog, and you couldn't barely see in front of us. But then, after a few miles, suddenly, the dunes started to come into view. Of course, we stopped to get a picture at the Great Sand Dunes sign. Then we were quickly back in the car and on our way to the visitor center. After checking in with the park rangers and grabbing our park map, we had some time to check out some of the displays about the different habitats and animals that live in the dunes. We also grabbed our junior ranger books and then took in a couple of movies about the park before heading out to go and see the dunes up close.
All right, so where we're standing right now would normally be the river that runs along the northeast side of the dunes.
This national park is particularly popular in the summer when the river is flowing. You'll see tons of families and kids playing in the water. You may even get an opportunity to experience the surge flow or waves coming from the river. Heading down the main park road to get a better view from Medano Pass, we encountered so many cute little deer. As you can see, they blend in very well with the vegetation this time of year. These guys are out probably trying to get water at the... Oh my gosh, fuzzbutts. So cute. Just before the Medano Pass Primitive Road, there's a pull-out area where you can get a gorgeous shot of the dunes. Then it was time to head back to the campground, get hooked up, and on the road to Santa Fe. About an hour north of Santa Fe, we encountered snow. How are you feeling about this road weather, or road conditions?
Not excited about it.
Yeah.
I tell you. It seems like they've salted it, and there's clearly some path that I'm trying desperately to stay on, but in terms of driving conditions, it's not what you're really shooting for. So,
Are you done driving in the snow for the year? Pulling the camper?
No.
I mean, do you want to be done?
Yes. Seems like there'll be more opportunity, though.
While the roads did clear up, just outside of Santa Fe, we hit bad weather again, and they were not prepared for it.
Grace is coming for you.
Not exactly inspiring confidence, that accident up there. And the
No.
color of the road.
No, the road's covered in snow again. We still have 24 miles to go. And it says 40 minutes. And our delay on Google Maps keeps growing, not shrinking.
It looks bad. Whatever is going on up there.
Oh, those cars are moving up there.
Well, yeah, as I zoom in, I can see just that they're
Very
moving
slow.
very slowly. We finally made it through the accident area, but we quickly realized what had gone wrong. These cars are now the other side. They have not salted the road over there.
These cars coming down.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anybody on that side right now.
Bad shape.
Lucky for us, they had a snow plow with
Salt.
salt come down on our side, so before we got here.
Yeah.
I guess they're getting out of that on-ramp.
At this point, on both sides of the road, we've passed probably a total of 10 or more cars that have unfortunately like slipped and or it's not good situations. Probably maybe something they're not used to driving in here,
They must not be used to driving snowy
where they don't
conditions.
have the road crews out, they didn't get them out in time or whatever happened. But unfortunately a lot of people, a lot of accidents stay very sad. Hopefully everybody's okay, but we are going really slow because we don't want to have an accident. Before arriving in Santa Fe, I had already scheduled an appointment for the kids' 1 week checkup. Unfortunately for Kennedy, it did not go as she hoped, and she had to stay in her sugar split for another week. Bryce got his cast. I did, however, make it up to Kennedy by taking her to get a manicure and pedicure. Hello everybody, I'm Jen here, and I thought this was a good time in our video to talk about health insurance and what it's like to travel full time and how do we deal with doctor's appointments, because that's always a common question for people who are just getting started or are thinking about doing it. I'm going to be honest, sometimes it can be a challenge. Mark works for a company out of California. They provide insurance and we are very thankful and grateful for that. And I've never had a problem finding doctors based on what state we're in and using our insurance. And that, includes both of the companies that Mark work for in Florida. The next thing I'm going to tell you is we use telehealth because it's part of the insurance a lot while we're traveling. It's hard to make an appointment in a doctor's office. It's so much easier for me to just sit on the bed in the bedroom with, whoever may be feeling, kind of cruddy, and call into a doctor and do a video chat and, get something if we need it. I usually have the pharmacy, the nearest pharmacy, like already written down and ready to go so that I can let them know that. So telehealth has been like a lifesaver, I think, for us. You guys have seen that Bryce and Kennedy have 2 broken arms. That has been a challenge from the standpoint of a lot of their doctor visits have timing to them, because it was broken arm. It was, they needed to be seen at a certain time for the swelling. It had it gone down, checked that the bones were still in place because Kennedy had to have hers put back into place and stuff. So there were challenges with that. Over the 2 months, they have been to 2 different states. Kennedy's been to 4 different orthopedic doctors. Bryce has been to 3 different orthopedic doctors. And that means I have to go over we're a full-time family, we travel all the time, blah, 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 spiel. I have to fill out paperwork each time that we've had to visit those. Oh, I also had to make sure that, because I know that they were going to have to visit different doctors at different stages in their recovery, I had to ask the doctors for, their doctor's notes, print out or disc copies of the x-rays so that so that the new doctor could see what the previous doctor saw and what the first doctor had done. So it required a lot of organization, a lot of writing. I wrote a lot of stuff because every time I went to a doctor's office, I had to fill out new paperwork. So you guys know how that is. I've had to do it quite a few times now. So that was a challenge, but like all in all, I have to say that most of the doctors were like super nice, super understanding of what we're doing. I did have to explain how we live probably I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times at each office. That was a little time consuming, but it's always fun to share our stories with everybody. And then I think the last thing that I'll go over as far as health insurance is just like your preventative stuff, your annual kind of, doctor's visits that you might have, especially for the kids. That I think I will tell you is absolutely the most challenging part of being a travel full-time family, having to deal with medical stuff, that kind of particular medical stuff. And that is because we choose not to go home to our home state and see doctors there. A lot of people make a trek back to their state of domicile or their old home because they've had doctors they've had for years. And I know that sounds like super easy and to do. However, we're from Florida, and that's like all the way down in the deep south, and we just don't always want to drive all the way back over there. So I guess you could say we make it more challenging for ourselves. However, I did make appointments for us to go back when we did visit home last year to visit family and friends for the holidays, and I didn't really find the experience that much easier. I called the dentist 6 months in advance, who we love. 5 days before our appointment, they wanted to cancel it, and I was like, no, I only have like a week to be in town, so sure, if you can get me in a week earlier. So there's that. The kids pediatrician, that was okay, but getting into a lot of other doctors is definitely a challenge. If you go to a different state, and it's not that we don't have, different places that we can't pick those kind of primary care physicians in other states. The problem is, even if they're taking new patients, they're usually scheduling new patients 2 and 3 months out. So if that's something you're looking at doing, keep in mind that you need to kind of have an idea of where you're going to be, or know exactly where you're going to be, so that you can call and make those appointments 2 and 3 months in advance. It's so hard to get in, even if I call 4 weeks, it's hard to get in that kind of time frame. So those are the kind of the appointments that we kind of don't follow up on as well. Probably more so for me and Mark. The kids, I kind of stay on top of their stuff. But that is definitely the hardest thing. But just keep in mind that for those kind of annual, preventative kind of stuff, that's important to do. Be a good planner and really think about where you're going to be so that you can plan it out in a couple of months, especially if we're going to a new doctor. And I think that's really the last thing I wanted to tell you guys. All in all, we've probably been less sick since we've been on the road than we have when we were at home, at school, that kind of stuff. So I don't really have to call on telemed or stuff too often. But when I do, I'm thankful that we have insurance, and I'm thankful for, those kind of service that make it easy for us. All right. If you're still watching at this point, give us a thumbs up, because that's the best way to show us that you're enjoying our videos and that you're finding it helpful. Leave us a comment down below. Tell me what's been your biggest problem as a full-time traveler when it comes to health, or do you have some secret on how to make doctor's appointments in a really timely manner that doesn't require me to go home to Florida? Let us know in the comments. All right, back to our regularly scheduled video.
If you watched our last video while we were visiting Copper Mountain, Colorado, our kitty Rio, who's 17 years old and is in the early stages of kidney disease, started urinating blood. And after taking her to the doctor and getting some medication, she seemed to be back to her old self, enjoying our travels. However, the Tuesday after we arrived, things kind of took a turn for the worse, and she went into full-on renal failure, and I had to make a tough decision to put her down. Our hearts are broken, but so thankful for the time that we had with her.
The next day, Mark convinced me that we should get out of the house and go check out a national monument nearby. So we headed over to Bandelier National Monument. Of course, our first stop was the visitor center to check out the museum, get our maps, and watch a video about the park. The park videos always help the kids to get excited about what we might see when we're exploring and to learn the history.
but you could see the whole entire thing that pulled on the park. Oh no, I hope you didn't. And no, a rat. I thought they only got water when it snowed.
Can you describe the smell? It smells so good in here.
Well, I have COVID nose, but to me it smells like sweet feed.
It smells a little like sweet feed and peanut hay to me.
Yeah,
Because peanut hay is really sweet.
it smells good.
It smells so good.
You got the pinion pines.
Yeah. What does it smell like to everybody?
Oh, I want cherry vanilla. I want to eat it. Cherry vanilla Coke. I think that's how they make cherry vanilla. Smell
Yeah.
mine. That's
Okay.
the secret.
Here's smell-o-vision right here. You gotta get into one of these open holes.
Join us next week as we take you to the towns of Cloudcroft and Mayhill, New Mexico, where we spend the month of December for the holidays. We'll show you why it was named the Christmas capital of New Mexico. We also do some updates in the camper for future boondocking, and we go and visit where Billy the Kid escaped from jail. Lastly, we show you one of our favorite reasons for camping here.